How do I choose a cannabis strain? There are 4 questions you should answer before you choose your strain. What is the purpose for using cannabis? What are the differences between sativas, indicas, and hybrids? What CBD-THC ratio should you consider? And last but not least, which part of the plant should the CBD be extracted from? People use cannabis for various reasons. Recreational purpose is one that doesn't need explaining. People will ingest cannabis to get high. However, what has been ignored for the last couple of decades has been the medicinal benefit of cannabis. People have illegally prepared cannabis to help with epilepsy, migraines, chronic pain, arthritis, anxiety, depression, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, epilepsy, etc. In June, the FDA validated medicinal use of cannabis by approving the first ever herbal cannabis preparation for the treatment of Dravet syndrome, a resistant form of epilepsy in children. This was in follow-up to the use of Charlotte Webb's cannabis preparation for the treatment of the same that started back in the early 90s. However, there are still concerns on how to use cannabis, primarily because there are so many preparations from so many cannabis strains, it is difficult to figure out what is what. So, what cannabis strain should I select? There are a few things to keep in mind. Sativa strains have cannabinoid and terpene profiles that increase happiness, energy, creativity, focus, and productivity. Sativa strains are recommended for daytime consumption. Number 2, indica strains have cannabinoid and terpene profiles that induce relaxation and sleep. They are recommended for nighttime consumption. Hybrid strains are all over. They contain both sativa and indica strains, ranging from sativa dominant, which contains greater than 50% sativa, to indica dominant, which contains greater than 50% indica. There are also strains in between, known as balanced sativa indica, which have 50-50 concentrations. Hybrid strains have cannabinoid and terpene profiles that reflect those of the dominant strains in the plant. In the case of the balanced hybrid, then surprising new flavors emerge. Traditionally, cannabis sativa plants are tall with narrow leaves. Indicas are short and bushy with broad leaves. These characteristics reflect the areas in which these strains have originated from. Original strains in their natural environment are referred to as landrace strains. Because landrace strains have evolved over hundreds of thousands or even millions of years, landrace strains are said to have balanced terpene and cannabinoid profiles that are in harmony with the plant and its environment. Factors that influence the profiles include light. For example, artificial greenhouse light versus natural outdoor light, you should expect different results. Hours of daylight. Plants that grow near the tropics and plants that grow near the equator might have totally different profiles just based on the environment in which they are growing in. Soil conditions, nutrients in the soil, for example, phosphate, nitrogen, and selenium, as well as water and humidity in the environment. Today, selective breeding has given rise to greater than 700 species bred from transplanted landrace strains brought in to the US and other countries from all over the world. These transplanted landrace strains are known as heirlooms. The diverse cannabis family now consists of pure sativa strains, pure indica strains, and a myriad of hybrid sativa indica mixed breeds. Breeding has, however, blurred the distinct line between sativas and indicas, and you may not know what you're buying at any particular moment. The only way to determine the cannabinoid and terpene profiles in these hybrids is by laboratory analysis. How else do we identify a strain to suit our needs? So the second way is by using the cannabinoid profiles in this plant. The major cannabinoids in cannabis plants is THC and CBD. While both have their own significant medicinal benefits, THC has a significant liability, a significant addiction liability that overshadows its utility as a therapeutic agent. CBD, on the other hand, has no addiction liability and interacts with multiple targets in the body to decrease inflammation. Both sativa and indica strains contain varying amounts of CBD and THC. Cannabis plants with greater than 0.3% THC are considered marijuana, while plants with less than 0.3% THC are referred to as hemp. Hemp is a natural source of CBD and is traditionally known for its production of seeds and fiber. It has a high ratio of CBD to THC ratio, which goes to almost sometimes as high as 30:1. By law, THC levels in hemp must be less than 0.3% in the US. In most European countries, the current upper legal limit for cultivation is 0.2%, while in Canada it stands at 0.3%. Hence, to start your cannabis journey, choose a hemp strain for medicinal purposes. Use the product for 2 to 4 weeks. If you do not experience symptom relief, you may want to consider using medical marijuana. Hence, get a medical marijuana card so you can be able to purchase medical marijuana. With marijuana, start with a high CBD content and a very low THC content. Then, if that doesn't give you relief, increase the THC content until you're satisfied with symptom relief. Always ensure that THC levels are lower than CBD levels. Scientific studies suggest that CBD prevents THC from inducing addictive effects. In summary, for elation, choose hemp sativa extract with greater than 7% CBD and less than 0.3% THC first. Second, if that doesn't work, then move on to medical marijuana sativa extract with greater than 7% CBD, and always ensure that the THC levels are lower than those of the CBD extract. For relaxation, choose hemp indica extract with greater than 7% CBD and less than 0.3% THC. Medical marijuana can be your second option if the hemp indica does not work. Again, ensure that your THC levels are below those of your CBD content. In both cases, select pure landrace or heirloom strains. If not available, then select high sativa hybrid strain or high indica hybrid strain. Always ask the seller to give you a certificate of analysis so that you can know what you're buying at any particular moment. Finally, which plant part should your CBD THC be extracted from? It's important to remember that cannabinoids are highly concentrated in the resinous trichomes found on the flower. There is little to no cannabinoid present in leaves, stem, seeds, and roots. Finally, when faced with similar strains that have equivalent CBD THC content, trust your palate and taste buds and choose the flavor you like. After all, you want to keep taking this extract so that you can get medical benefits. So it is important for you to like what you take. Thank you.